You're listening to Close Up on Sunday Good Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with Andrea Kay, Urban Miaris, and Miss Eve Nasby, who is now in the spotlight. Okay, so
the paddleboard yoga
right.
queen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Now, we've been talking all about veterans and how to deal with veteran families.
Yes.
You deal with veteran employment.
I do. And that's so important. You know, the employment, when transitioning, the veterans are worried about finding their next job, right? So they're constantly getting paycheck, they get their housing allotments, blah, blah, blah. And so all of a sudden now all of that stops. And so there's a lot of stress on those families for that veteran to find a job. And that's where we come in. We can help rewrite their resume, help them with interviewing skills, and actually literally help them find jobs because of the relationships that we have here with all the companies in San Diego.
Well, let's start and focus on that. You know, if you deal with veteran employment, okay, you know, whenever you place a veteran in a job, that's at no cost to the veteran. Am I correct?
Absolutely. There's never a cost. Yep.
So no cost to the veteran, and you provide added services. So tell us what's involved in, you know, what do you usually see when a veteran comes to you with a resume, and what do you do with that resume when they come to you?
Such a great question. Up in North County, there's an association called the Veterans Association of North County. They have a CTAP program, which is a transition program that's free to veterans, and I was helping with them and taking a look at the resumes. And there was a young man who was very skilled, very well spoken, and on his resume, he simply put, I was a sniper in the military. And I thought, okay, let's help you with this. And he says, I don't have any skills. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. 10 years in the military. And I said, did you have people reporting to you? And he, well, of course I did, a few hundred. I'm like, okay, let's talk about leadership skills. Let's talk about organizational skills. Let's talk about focus management, motivation, all of that. And so what we do for our veterans who really have no idea how incredible they are is to pull that out of them, show them, and I help them identify the strengths that they have within themselves. And then we literally put that on paper for them so that they can effectively communicate that to hiring managers.
Well, you obviously have the skill that Urban says is absolutely necessary in order to be able to be a business consultant to veterans, to be able to understand them, where they're coming from, their mindset. How did you develop that? Oh,
trial by fire. I joined this company 5 years ago, and they said, hey, can you help us out with our veteran piece? And I said, sure. So it's not an impossible thing to learn. You just ask a lot of questions, and like Urban said, you have to learn to ask the right questions.
Yeah, most of those getting out of the military are humble in what they did in the military.
Very much so.
They will not say anything about it or be very soft on it. And, you know, that's what Eve's job is, and she does a great job.
Well, the resume is about patting yourself on the back and touting your accomplishments, which is not something that I think, I'm the daughter of two Marines, and it's not something that they're used to doing. It's
the opposite. It's all about the team. It's never about you. And the resume is exactly opposite.
You know, it brings up a thought process to me of, you know, many other ways to look at things in a similar fashion, in that everything begins with the packaging. Okay. You know, if you go on a TV show like Shark Tank, you know, you come on there with a package that looks like a coffee cup, and it ends up looking like something completely different by the time they're done. It's the package. You know, you go back. I remember Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
Okay. He did all the commercial work for Canon cameras, and his comment was, "Image is everything." Okay.
Absolutely.
So how does that relate over, you know, your image? If you're trying to apply for a job, your complete and total image is how that resume shows up.
That is true.
And you obviously have the skill in terms of how to create that package that will get them in the door, get them the interview, and help them get the job. But I think it actually even goes back further. You obviously just have such a heart for veterans.
I do.
Where do you think that?
Amazing.
Yeah, where did that come from? Did you grow up around the military? How did you just fall in love with veterans so much? Because I think it's like we talked about with Kurt and what we've talked about with Barry in collaborations. If you care about your client and their best interest and providing the best service possible to them, that's when you're going to have success. And so it really comes from the heart. And you have that for veterans.
You know, I think it's the big picture. I think as an American, I love this country. I love the flag. It makes me cry. The national anthem makes me cry. I love the United States of America. And we owe our freedom to those veterans. And so what better way for me to serve my country, if you will, than to serve those who served. Oh. Now I'm going to get all teary-eyed.
I know, me too.
Well, you know,
cue the tissue for me and Eve.
Yeah, well, you know what? We do have some here.
No,
here, I'll just put them in between the two of you. So, you know, most of our listeners, or probably all of our listeners, don't know that Eve has been responsible for bringing some of our more memorable guests on here. You know, I think it was you that brought Chris Sayong on.
Oh,
that was good. Sinog, that was me.
Sinog.
Yeah.
That was you.
He trained Marcus Luttrell.
What about, cool.
Yeah. Helen Patton on here.
Yeah, Helen Patton. I remember that was the next one I was going to bring.
Phil Kendro, who's done every single one of our air shows here in San Diego.
And Alfie?
Yes, Albie. Travis Mannion.
Yeah, right. Travis Mannion.
And you know what? The employment piece goes right into, I just talked to Darnisha Hunter. She's the mayor's advocate for veterans. And his platform is veteran employment and veteran housing. Well, that employment goes right into the housing. Ending veteran homelessness has a lot to do with helping them find work. So again, if your company is here in San Diego and you're looking to hire some great people, give me a call, 619-244-3000, or go on to thebrave.us, and we can help you find some great veteran talent.
Great. So, and before we go to break, where are we at on building that program to match up veterans and the Chamber of Commerce and everybody else? Is that coming along?
Yep, it is. We have another meeting coming up in a couple weeks to talk more about that with the Chamber. So there's a huge push, a service called the Honor Roll. So if you hire a veteran, you're part of the Chamber, you get on the Honor Roll, and we can talk more about that when you call me at 619-244-3000.
She's a closer.
Q. I need a little drum roll there. So anyway, great. Hey, Eve, thanks for being here. We'll have you sit in on our last segment here in just a minute. So this is Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170, Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD, or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at Barry@CloseUpSanDiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business on KCBQ, AM1170, The Answer.